The award honours a young actor or actress who has demonstrated exceptional talent and ambition, and who has captured the imagination and hearts of the British public. As it's an international award, the nominees may be of any nationality, but at least 2 of the 5 nominees must be British. They must also have appeared in a film that was released in the UK during the BAFTA Awards year. While the Rising Star Award is designed to shine a light on young actors, it is not intended as a true beginner's award. Nominees are likely to be over 18 and have several film performances under their belt. It has rightly come to be seen as a prestigious honour, singling out the talent of tomorrow. The nominees for the 2012 Orange Wednesday's Rising Star Award are Adam Deacon, Chris Hemsworth, Chris O'Dowd, Eddie Redmayne, and Tom Hiddleston.
So we've just found out the Rising Star nominees. What are your initial thoughts on the 5 guys nominated?
The first thing to say is that it's an all-male shortlist, although obviously the long list did actually have 3 very strong female candidates, Jennifer Lawrence, Jessica Chastain, and Felicity Jones, who I'm a huge fan of. So what happens when you put it to the public vote, the public makes their own mind up rather than the panel or critics like me. It's a very interesting shortlist. On the one hand, you've got a sort of Thor title fight between, you've basically got Thor versus Loki, which I think is fascinating. It's interesting to see Adam in that list because obviously he's been on record as saying, I don't care what critics think. Actually, he was named by Time Out as being part of the new wave of British youth cinema that that bypasses those traditional critical establishment and gets its message out in a different way. So it's very nice to see him in that list. I think personally that Tom Hiddleston's got the edge, not least because obviously he's in War Horse, which everybody really likes, but also because I think his performance in Deep Blue Sea, which I thought was wonderful. That was one of the films this year that I really, really liked, and I'm a huge fan of Terence Davies, the director, and how interesting to see somebody be in Thor and in Deep Blue Sea and in War Horse. I mean, that's real diversity.
We've seen the long list as well, which came out last week.
Yeah.
What did you make of that? There's a lot of The Artist, My Week with Marilyn doing very well. Do you think that might sustain, or do you think there'll be things like The Help that will come up and more British films?
I mean, as I'm sure you know, The Artist is everyone's favourite film of the year around the world. And it was interesting because when the film played at Cannes, I think people were a bit sceptical about the idea that a black and white, largely silent movie could be a mainstream hit, and yet it's turned out to be exactly that. And I think there's no doubt that film is going to do really well both here and in America. At the Golden Globes, obviously, Tinker Tailor was rather snubbed. That hasn't been the case at the BAFTAs, or at least as far as the long list is concerned, it doesn't appear to have been the case at the BAFTAs. I really like that film. I think Thomas Alfredson is a terrific director. So it is a very interesting long list, but I do think what you're seeing this year is, on the one hand, the American nominations, Golden Globes and Oscars, are very different to British nominations, and that's as it should be. The BAFTAs should have their own distinct flavour. But I can't imagine any awards ceremony in which The Artist doesn't pick up some significant awards. I mean, everyone loves it. I have yet to find somebody who doesn't like The Artist.
Would it be your tip for Oscar glory as well? Best Picture maybe, and Director?
I think it will not only get nominated Best Picture at the Oscar, but it will win Best Picture at the Oscar. I don't know that it's going to win Best Picture at the BAFTAs, but I think it will win Best Picture at the Oscars, yeah.